Hello, today we are reviewing for the percent unit test that you guys are taking tomorrow. So you should be watching this video and copying the examples onto the Jamboard or a piece of paper. Just make sure you submit it for a classwork grade. Please make sure you are copying the entire problem, so everything that I'm writing down, you should be writing down as well. So let's get started. What percent of 80 is 8? So here we're going to use the percent equation. Is equals percent times of. So is 8, percent we don't know, of is 80. In order to solve this, we're going to divide both sides by 80. So x is equal to, well, we got to go to Desmos and do 8 divided by 80. And we get 0.1 as our answer. However, when we're looking for a percent, this is not our final answer. What we have to do is move the decimal 2 places to the right. Or if we're in Desmos, we can take our answer and multiply it by 100. So we get 10. So x is really 10%. So 10% of 80 is 8. Number 2, Ray has lunch at a restaurant. If his bill was $14.50 and Ray wants to leave a tip of 20%, what is the amount he should leave for the tip? So remember, there's method 1 and method 2 that you can do. One method might work better than the other for some questions. For example, this one, we're just figuring out how much money they should leave for the tip. So method 1 might be the better choice here. So we really want to find 20% of $14.50. So we're going to have x is equal to 0.20 because remember, anytime you have a percentage, you want to change it to a decimal. And we're going to multiply that by $14.50. So 0.20 times $14.50 gives me 2.9. So this is just the amount of money that they are leaving as a tip. But for money, we're going to add a zero, a dollar sign, right? So we get choice A to be $2.90 is how much Ray should leave for a tip. Number 3, what is the total cost to the nearest cent? We have a 10% lamp with 5% tax. Since we're finding the total cost, you can use, again, either method 1 or method 2. I'm going to use method 2 here. So we have 100% plus tax is an additional price, right? So we're going to add 5%, and we get 105% as our answer. Now we really want to find 105% of this $10. So we're going to have x equals, well, the percentage, you want to move the decimal 2 to the left. You want to change the percent to a decimal. So we get 1.05 times 10. So we're going to go to our calculator and plug that in here. And we get 10.5. So this really is money. Again, add that 0. So that means the total cost is going to be $10.50. If you did method 1, you would have gotten 50 cents. But then you were supposed to add that to 10 to get to 10.50 for the total cost. Number 4, what is the total cost to the nearest cent? We have $50 tool set with a 10% markup. Remember, markup is an additional price. So we're going to do the same thing. We have 100% plus 10%, which means we're paying 110% of this $50. So we're going to do x equals 50 times our percentage, but we want to move 2 to the left. I'm going to get 1.10. So I have 50 times 1.10 gives me 55. So that means the total cost is going to be $55. Number 5, an aquarium is on sale for $59.50. If this price represents a 15% discount from the original price, what is the original price? So this is where we have to remember, guys, we have the sale price is equal to the percentage that you are paying for the item times the original price. Okay, we are given the sale price. Therefore, we're plugging in the sale price here. Now, the percentage, we get a 15% discount. So that really means we're not paying 100%. We're paying a minus 15% because it's a discount, which really means we're paying 85%. So when we plug in this 85% into our equation, we want to change that to a decimal. It becomes 0.85, and then we're multiplying by the original price, which is what we don't know. So that's where my x goes. Now, in order to solve this equation, I want to get x by itself. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.85. So the 85s will cancel, and then I have to put this in my calculator. 5950 divided by 0.85, which gets me 70. So that means my original price was $70. So a question like this, you have to be careful because it's the sale price is equal to the percent that you pay. So we got a 15% discount. We're really paying 85% times the original price. Number 6, what is the percent of change? Round to the nearest whole percent if necessary. State whether the percent of change is an increase or a decrease. So it's going from 30 to 90. So percent of change is foo, final minus original over original. Okay, so we have to identify what's the final, what's the original. Remember, final is where it ends. It ends at 90. Original is where it starts. It started at 30 because it started at 30 and it went to 90. So now we're just going to plug this in. Final is 90 minus original is 30 divided by 30. Now, when we put this in our calculator, you want to make sure you put these parentheses in there. So I have 90 minus 30, close parentheses, divided by 30. And I get 2. But remember, whenever you get this answer, you're really looking for a percentage. So we want to take our answer and we want to multiply it by 100. So we really have a 200% of change. That is the change, 200%. And it's going from 30 to 90. It's increasing. So it's a 200% increase. Number 7, find the principal for a loan that has earned interest of $55.20 with an annual interest rate of 3% for 8 years. So this is where we're going to use I equals PRT. Come on. The computer froze a little bit. There we go. I equals PRT. Now we want to identify what I, P, R, and T are. I, P, R, and T. So it says find the principal. Find the principal. We don't know the principal. I'm going to put a question mark there. It earned interest. So the interest is $55.20. The rate is always the percentage, but we want to change that to a decimal, so it's 0.03. And the time is always measured in years, so we have 8. Now, next part is to solve it. So we're going to plug it in. 5520 equals P, which we don't know, times R, which is 0.03. I'm running out of room, times 8. So 5520 doesn't change, but we want to simplify this 0.03 times 8. So I'm going to go to my calculator, 0.03 times 8, and I get 0.24. And that's still times P. Now, in order to solve for P, we're going to divide both sides by 0.24. So whatever we get as our answer is going to be our principal balance. So 5520 divided by 0.24 gives me 230. So that means 230 is my principal or starting balance. Don't forget, you should be copying everything down. Number 8, Melinda ate breakfast and wanted to leave her waitress a 20% tip. Her meal cost $7.50. How much money should she leave for the tip? Well, again, we just want to know how much money they should leave for the tip. That means we should use method 1. We want to find 20% of $7.50. So remember, we always want to change our percent to a decimal. You move the decimal 2 places to the left, and we get 0.20. And we multiply that by 750. So 0.20 times 750 gives me 1.5. So 1.5, we're really talking about money, right? So we should say $1.50 is the tip. Okay, that's how much Melinda should leave. Okay, it's not asking for a total price, it's just asking for the amount of tip. Number 9, Zach bought a pair of jeans for $54. The next week, he noticed the price of the same pair of jeans was $74. Find the percent of change. State whether it is an increase or a decrease. Round to the nearest whole percent if necessary. So here we go. We have foo again. Final minus original over original. Always when you see percent of change, think foo. So final is what the price is right now. Original is what they originally were. So they are originally $54. What they are now are $74. So we have final minus original over original. Please make sure you put these parentheses here, especially when you go into the calculator, you need those parentheses. So I have 74 minus 54 divided by 54. Now remember, this is a decimal. We want a percentage. So we want to take our answer and multiply it by 100. And I get 37.03, keeps on going, right? But it says to round to the nearest whole percent. So I only need to take the whole number plus 1 digit. So 37.0% is what I'm going to copy over. And then for my final answer, well, I'm going to round it to the nearest whole number. This 0 is not big enough to make the 7 go up, so it's going to stay 37%. And it started at 54 and it went to 74, which means it's an increase. We can also tell it's an increase because this percentage is positive. If it were negative, then it would be a decrease. Number 10, Cindy and her friends went out to breakfast. The total bill came to $49.87. They have to pay 6.2% sales tax and want to leave an 18% tip. What is the final cost of the bill? So, since we have sales tax and tip, they are both additional prices. We can use method 2 and we can add all the percentages together. So we have to pay 100% of the bill. We have to pay 6.2 sales tax, and we want to leave an 18% tip. So the total amount here, well, we're add it up. 100 plus 6.2 plus 18 gives me 124.2. So we're really paying 124.2% of the bill.